From lizards that put the fear of God in everyone that comes across them to snakes that kill so many people, it's hard to count. These are the most lethal reptiles in every country. The Mexican beaded lizard, Mexico. Mexico has given the world tacos, mariachi, and one of the only two venomous lizards on the entire planet. Congratulations, Mexico. The Mexican beaded lizard is basically the Gila monster's meaner, bigger cousin, and it looks exactly as prehistoric as it sounds. These chunky, slow-moving reptiles can grow up to 3 feet long, are covered in bead-like scales of black and yellow, and honestly look like something that should have gone extinct alongside the dinosaurs. Instead, they just stayed. Because of course they did. Like snakes, these lizards come equipped with venom glands. The venom attacks the nervous system, causing severe pain and a drop in blood pressure. But here's the truly diabolical part. When they bite, they clamp down hard, chew venom into the wound, and hold on, sometimes for minutes at a time. They don't just bite you, they savor it. There's no anti-venom for the Mexican beaded lizard, partly because bites are rare, and partly because if you've managed to get bitten by one, the medical community would like a word with you about your life choices. The beaded lizard lives in the dry forests and scrublands of Mexico and Guatemala, largely avoiding humans, but largely is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Oh, and they have a temper, too. When threatened, these guys can become aggressive, striking at lightning speed. So if you ever encounter one, it's best you avoid getting close. The West African carpet viper, Nigeria. If you've never heard of the West African carpet viper, don't feel bad. It's one of the world's most underrated killers, flying quietly under the radar while racking up a body count that should have it on every danger list ever made. This is not a flashy snake. It's small, barely 1 to 2 feet long, with speckled brown scales that blend perfectly into the dry savanna. It looks like a boring piece of rope. And that, my friend, is the problem. The carpet viper accounts for 90% of the snake bites in Nigeria and 60% of human snake bite fatalities, with mostly farmers and young children as victims. This one little snake is responsible for almost every snake bite in an entire country. Carpet vipers are responsible for more fatalities than all other African snakes combined, with venom that is a compound of procoagulants, anticoagulants, hemorrhagens, nephrotoxins, and necrotoxins. Symptoms include uncontrolled bleeding, tissue death, kidney failure, and blindness. If this snake were a villain in a movie, it would have a PhD. From Senegal to Bengal, the carpet viper probably bites and kills more people than any other species of snake, and yet it gets no headlines. The black mamba gets the drama. The king cobra gets the documentaries. The carpet viper just quietly destroys communities in rural West Africa and asks for nothing in return. Respect the boring ones. The Russell's viper, India. India has the king cobra, which is spectacular and terrifying. But if we're talking purely about body count and the kind of snake that has shaped the health infrastructure of an entire subcontinent, you have to talk about the Russell's viper, named after Scottish physician Patrick Russell, who presumably had the worst job in history. This snake is the world's most prolific killer by sheer human death toll. Russell's viper is found across the Indian subcontinent and is responsible for around 43% of snakebite deaths in India each year. But this snake is not just a plague in India alone, it is also a huge problem in Sri Lanka, where it's equally devastating and arguably even more concentrated in its impact. In Myanmar, the figure reaches a terrifying 70 to 80% of all snake bites. The snake doesn't need to be the most venomous, it just needs to be everywhere. The Russell's viper reportedly produces the loudest hiss of any living snake, which is more of a sizzle, really, produced by rubbing together serrated scales. It's the kind of sound that should make your legs move automatically. The venom is particularly nasty. Victims are known to bleed randomly from their gums and have blood-streaked urine, while kidney failure is the main cause of death. This is not a snake you want a warning label about. This is a snake you want to be on an entirely different continent from, the puff adder, Botswana. Here's a fun thought experiment. Imagine you're a snake that isn't the fastest, isn't the most venomous per drop, and isn't even particularly dramatic looking. How do you become the deadliest snake in Africa? Simple. You are everywhere, look like nothing, and refuse to move out of the way when a human foot is coming down on you. The puff adder has mastered this strategy with terrifying efficiency. The deadliest snake in Africa, it causes the most snakebite fatalities on the continent. Its venom is potent enough to kill 4 to 5 men and has a 52% mortality rate if left untreated. It gets its name from the way it puffs up its body when threatened, a sort of last-ditch warning that most people, unfortunately, encounter at the same time as the bite. Puff adders inject an average of 150 to 300 milligrams of venom per bite, and according to some estimates, just 100 milligrams can kill a human being. The largest individuals can inject over 1,000 milligrams per bite. That's not a bite, that's an assassination. Found across sub-Saharan Africa, the puff adder loves rocky grasslands and savannas, the exact terrain where people tend to walk barefoot at night. Most bites occur when people accidentally stand on puff adders at night. In conclusion, wear shoes. Always wear shoes. The eastern brown snake, Australia. The eastern brown snake is Australia's second most venomous land snake and causes more deaths from snakebite than any other species across the continent. It also ranks number 2 in the world for venomous land snakes, second most venomous but most deadly. While the inland taipan, the number 1 deadliest, lives in remote deserts where almost nobody goes, the eastern brown decided it preferred suburbia. It loves farmland, open grasslands, and the outskirts of cities. Basically wherever humans are. The venom contains powerful presynaptic neurotoxins, procoagulants, cardiotoxins, and nephrotoxins, and successful envenomation can result in progressive paralysis and uncontrollable bleeding. Making things worse, the initial bite is generally painless and often difficult to detect. You won't even know something has gone terribly wrong until symptoms cascade. Venom from an eastern brown snake bite can kill a human within 4 hours. Even a newly hatched eastern brown has enough venom to kill a human. The babies. The babies are lethal. Australia remains, as ever, a continent-sized argument for staying home. Before we continue, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified anytime we post new videos. The reticulated python, Malaysia. Unlike most of the deadliest snakes in the world, the reticulated python doesn't need venom to finish the job. Venom is for amateurs. This snake is the world's longest snake and is capable of exceeding 30 feet and weighing over 300 pounds. It has evolved a simpler, more direct philosophy than its cousins. It finds you, wraps around you, squeezes every ounce of air from your body, and then swallows you whole. It doesn't overcomplicate things. The reticulated python is one of the few snakes confirmed to prey on humans. This is not folklore. This is documented, verified, and deeply unsettling. In Malaysia, a 29-year-old rubber tapper was swallowed by a large python in 1995, marking the first verified case of a reticulated python attempting to ingest an adult human in modern Malaysian history. And the incidents have continued. In Sulawesi, Indonesia, there have been multiple confirmed cases of humans found inside the stomachs of these snakes in recent years alone. A 26.2-foot-long reticulated python was once captured at a construction site in Malaysia. The workers just showed up to work and found it there. That's Malaysia for you. The reticulated python is also a popular exotic pet worldwide, which raises a very important question. Why keep something that can swallow you whole? Some mysteries of human psychology are truly beyond science. The saltwater crocodile, the Philippines. You might assume that the Philippines would be home to delightful marine wildlife and little else that wants to kill you. You would be catastrophically wrong. The saltwater crocodile has been making the Philippines' waters and mangroves its personal hunting ground for millions of years, and it is very, very good at it. The saltwater crocodile, also called the estuarine crocodile, is one of the world's largest reptiles, growing up to 6 meters long and weighing up to a ton. Incidents of saltwater crocodile attacks in Palawan have increased notably in recent years. The town of Balabac, in particular, has become something of a hotspot. According to local officials, since 2015, they've never had a year with 0 crocodile attacks in Balabac. This is simply the daily reality of living alongside prehistoric apex predators. At least half of all attacks by saltwater crocodiles are fatal. These aren't near misses. These are encounters that end conversations permanently. What makes the Philippine situation particularly tense is habitat loss. Shrinking mangrove swamps push crocodiles and humans into the same spaces with increasing frequency. The crocodile has been navigating these waters for 200 million years. It is not going to be the one to adapt. This time, humans have met their match, and we are the ones who will have to adapt. The king brown snake, Papua New Guinea. The king brown snake wants you to know that its name is a lie, and it is deeply fine with that. Despite being called the king brown, it's actually a member of the black snake family. Despite king suggesting some kind of regal restraint, it is the snake that delivers the largest venom yield of any snake in Australia and its surrounding regions, including Papua New Guinea, where it thrives in the wild and remote interior. The mulga, as it's often called, can grow up to 10 feet in length and has a uniquely devastating delivery system. When it strikes, it doesn't just bite once. It chews. It holds on and gnaws, pumping venom continuously into the wound. A single encounter can involve the injection of up to 150 milligrams of venom, one of the highest recorded yields of any snake species on the planet. The venom is a complex mix of neurotoxins, myotoxins, and anticoagulants that cause muscle breakdown, kidney failure, and paralysis. In Papua New Guinea, where access to antivenom and medical facilities is severely limited in remote areas, an encounter with a mulga snake is as close to a death sentence as the natural world gets. It's fast, it's aggressive when cornered, and it has absolutely no interest in the social contract between humans and wildlife. The king brown doesn't do diplomacy. If you see this guy, run. The boomslang Zimbabwe. Boomslang sounds like a fun word. It almost sounds like a cartoon sound effect. There is nothing cartoon about what this snake does to you. The boomslang is a rear-fanged tree snake native to sub-Saharan Africa, and for decades, herpetologists underestimated it because, unlike cobras and mambas, it has to actually chew to envenomate you. Scientists thought this made it relatively harmless. Then a famous herpetologist was bitten in 1957, refused treatment because he believed his own assessment, and died 2 days later. Science updated its notes. The boomslang has the most potent venom, drop for drop, of any snake in southern Africa. It's a hemotoxin of the most horrifying variety. It destroys your blood's ability to clot, causing you to slowly bleed from every opening in your body, including your eyes, nose, gums, and ears. Boomslang venom is very slow acting, and it usually takes anywhere from 5 to 30 hours before bite victims show the first symptoms. By the time you know something is wrong, the venom has already been working for hours. Even if you receive anti-venom at that point, there's a very high chance you won't make it. The boomslang is beautifully camouflaged in tree canopies, with bright green males and brown females that are practically invisible among branches. If you're walking through Zimbabwe's bush and something bright green and branch-shaped is watching you, maybe just take a different path. The faint-banded sea snake, Thailand. If we're talking about lethal reptiles, there's no way we'll not talk about a creature so venomous that scientists have spent years arguing about just how venomous it is, as if the exact number matters when we're already well past the point of kills everything. The Belcher's sea snake glides through the waters of the Gulf of Thailand, the Indian Ocean, and surrounding seas, looking like a chrome yellow ribbon with dark green bands and the biochemical payload of a biological weapons facility. The venom has an LD50 value of 0.24 milligrams per kilogram and contains a mix of myotoxins and neurotoxins. and a single bite's venom yield can be potent enough to kill numerous adult humans, with toxicity so extreme that it can kill a person in less than 30 minutes. For context, that's a snake you could hold in one hand that could theoretically depopulate a small office building. And yet the plot twist is that it has a timid temperament and would normally have to be subjected to severe mistreatment before biting. Usually, those bitten are fishermen handling nets, although only 1/4 of those bitten are actually envenomated, since the snake rarely injects much of its venom. The Belcher's sea snake is, by all accounts, not interested in you. It's busy doing sea snake things. The only reason it makes number one is the mind-bending gap between what it could do if it wanted to and its general policy of profound indifference toward humans. It is the world's most lethally equipped reptile, paired with the most pacifist personality in herpetology. It's basically a nuclear weapon that prefers to be left alone, and honestly, we should all respect that energy.